Bad photography habits. We all have them, and some are worse than others, but they're kind of like a risky fart. Most of the time, they're not a problem until they are. Now, bad photography habits are things that you do as a photographer that are not necessarily in your best interest. And let me tell you, there are definitely a few things that I have been guilty of. But ladies and gentlemen, it is a new year, and there is no better time to correct those bad habits than right now. So today in this video, I'm gonna use this beautiful island of Gran Canaria as a setting to discuss a few bad photography habits that I've been guilty of in the past year, so you don't make the same mistakes that I have. And I'm out here with James Popsis. James, what do you think of Gran Canaria so far?
I think we haven't found what we're looking for yet.
Yet. It's definitely an interesting place, but I think there's some hidden gems here, and we're gonna find them. Now, the first bad photography habit that I have been making this year is shooting too many photos. Let me explain. Wait, this is super weird. It's sunny, but it's raining. Now, ever since I picked up the Sony a1 II, I have been shooting way too many photos. This camera is ridiculously fast, and even if I put it in the lowest drive mode, I'll still go home after a day of shooting and have like 2,000 or 3,000 photos to look through, which is absolutely ridiculous. Now, there are gonna be situations where I do need to take a lot of photos. If I'm shooting sports photography, or I'm shooting a scene that's constantly shifting and changing and there's people moving around and I wanna make sure I have options, in those scenarios, shooting a lot of photos makes sense. But in a place like this, where there's really not that much happening, I'm shooting scenes that aren't really changing at all, there's no reason why I should be shooting 30 photos of the exact same composition that isn't moving. The problem with shooting too many photos is, number one, you're gonna have way too many photos to look through, and it's gonna be harder to find the actual good ones in there. And number two, it's gonna take a lot more data on your computer as well. And trust me, the longer you shoot, the more your hard drives are gonna fill up, and it does become quite an expense to keep buying all of these expensive hard drives over time. Now, I am not saying if you see something cool, don't take a photo of it. I'm saying don't take the same photo of the same composition 100 times, because ultimately you're just gonna delete those photos because nothing in that image has changed. I say that, but if an old lady walked down this street right now with a cute little dog, I can almost guarantee you that I would absolutely light them up with the a1 II, because stuff like that you just cannot miss. But it really does all come down to the time and the place. There's gonna be a time where you need to take a ton of photos, and there's also gonna be a time where you need to show restraint and take less photos. And for me, I definitely need to take less photos because I'll come home with the trip with like 5,000 to 6,000 images, and it's just too much. So don't be like me and take less photos. That leads me on to the second bad habit that I have been doing over the last year of photography, and that is bringing too much gear with me. Now, I know, I talk about this in so many of my videos, and I always recommend bringing in less gear, and yet here I am with 3 different cameras, a giant backpack, and a bunch of lenses that I'm probably not going to use on this trip. Sue me. But in reality, when you bring too much gear, it almost gives you choice paralysis. I'm sitting here trying to choose between shooting a scene with my Sony versus my Fuji, whether I should film some B-roll on the scene or capture some video. And when you have all these things going through your head, you end up getting less good photos because you can't really focus and be present in that scene. And not to mention, all that gear is more annoying to travel with. It's also heavier, and walking up and down this giant hill in front of me is gonna suck with all of this gear. So something I would really like to do going forward is to actually bring less gear. I shouldn't have brought the Fuji. I shouldn't have brought the 7200 because realistically, I'm not going to use them on this trip. But I actually do have a legitimate excuse as to why I carry so much gear, and that's because I want to make good videos for you guys. So be grateful. this place is pretty cool. We came out here to this harbor with all these like really cool old school fishing boats. But what makes this place special are these gigantic mountains back up behind the harbor that look so cool, but they're really difficult to shoot. And I feel like that's kind of one of the main themes that we've come across on this trip. This island is not easy to shoot. It's quite messy. The landscapes are not as clean as you would like, but there are a few hidden gems and we're trying to find those. And honestly, it's just really nice to be out here and have a sunny day. The first 2 days were a little bit sketchy. Today is absolutely beautiful, and it's a really nice change of pace coming from northern Spain in San Sebastian, where I've been for the past 2 months, which is super cold. So it's really nice being out here. Now, the next bad habit that I have been guilty of in 2025 and also in previous years past is shooting alone too much. Now, I know it might seem like photography is very much a solo hobby, and it is. You know, you go off on your own, you take some amazing photos on your own. You really don't need anyone else there. But shooting with other photographers is one of the most beneficial things that you can do as a photographer. Not only is it way more fun because you get to hang out with someone that likes the same things that you like, but also you get to see how another photographer shoots. And every time I come out here and shoot with James, I learn something new. James and I both have different styles. We both shoot a little bit differently, but every time I come out with him, I start to see the world the way he sees it as well, and vice versa. I think it's always beneficial to go out with another photographer, to talk about photography, and just be creative with another person. And that's something I would really like to do more of in 2026, because trips like this are why I love photography so much. So if you are the type of photographer that does like to shoot alone, that's great. I think alone time is important, but also set some time aside to go shoot with another photographer as well. Even if they like to shoot something completely different from you, there is always something that we can learn from other creatives. I'll tell you guys one thing, when the light hits this island right, it is absolutely stunning. And I think the first 2 days we were here, we really struggled because the light was so rough. But now that we're getting some nice, soft, sunny winter light, it's just absolutely beautiful. And it seems like there is so much to shoot. But one of the reasons why I walked down to these rocks here was to talk about the next bad habit that I developed over the last 2 years, I would say, and that is only shooting when I feel inspired. I think when you first start out with photography, you were just so stoked to go out and shoot. And all you want to do is go outside and take photos of pretty much anything. Flowers, cars, landscapes, street photography, whatever it is, you just want to take photos. But as you grow as a photographer and you start to develop a style, you start to kind of confine yourself to only shooting very specific things. And it gets much more difficult to feel inspired about shooting something unless it's exactly what you're looking for. And at the end of the day, this results in you just going out less because you're not as inspired as you once were. But one of the things that I've found is you can't rely on inspiration to trigger action. Action triggers inspiration, and then that feeds into this positive cycle where you're out shooting more, you're getting better, you're taking more images. Ultimately, that's a positive thing. So I think one of the worst habits that you can have as a photographer is just relying on inspiration for you to go out and shoot. Just go out and shoot anyways, even if you're not inspired, even if you don't know what you're gonna find. Sometimes you'll walk outside with your camera, you'll see something interesting, and you'll feel good again, and you'll feel inspired again because you actually went out and shot. I think it's really important to develop a habit of shooting, regardless of whether you feel inspired or not. You guys are gonna love this. When I went to sit down on those rocks to film that last bit there, I had my variable ND filter in my back pocket, and now it's broken. What a lovely trip so far. I already lost one of James's filters, and then I broke the other one. Classic. All right, guys, well, we have made it back to the hotel, and it has been a long day of shooting. And as you can see, I'm taking a look at some of the images that I shot today. And this leads me on to my last bad habit of the video, and that is not making preliminary selects on the same day that you shoot. One of the things that I noticed that I've been doing over the last year or two is I'll go on a trip and I'll shoot thousands of images, and I won't take the time to make selects on that trip. So when I get home and I have thousands and thousands of images to look through, it's almost overwhelming overwhelming and I really don't know where to start. So one of the things that I've started doing is after I get home from a shoot, I'm just quickly looking through the images that I shot that day and just finding some of the images that I really liked. I'll also do just a really quick edit using my presets as well. I really like doing this because you can still kind of envision the scenes that you shot earlier in the day. It's still fresh in your mind. So you kind of know where those good photos are going to be. And you can just quickly select those, throw a preset on them, and it'll make it much easier for you to find those images and sort through those images later on. I think this is a really positive habit to develop as a photographer and something that I've been doing on this trip so far. And I'm stoked because now I can look back at the last 3 days we've been here and already have a ton of sick images that already have kind of a basic edit on them. But I'm pretty stoked with some of the images that I got today, and I hope you guys enjoyed them too. I'm definitely excited to kind of dive into these more and really look through them because there's definitely a few hidden gems in there. But with that said, guys, we have another very early start tomorrow. We're going to wake up and hit sunrise in the mountains. So we got to get up super early. But I just wanted to say thank you guys for making it to the end of this video. I really hope you enjoyed some of the photos in this video. And also, I hope you enjoyed this style of video as well. This isn't a style of video that I typically make. So if you guys did enjoy this kind of vlog style video, let me know in the comments down below. I love to make these kind of videos. If you guys like them too, then I'll definitely make more going forward. But that is all for this one, guys. Thank you so much for making it to the end of this video. I'm going to hit the sack, but I'll chat with you guys again very soon.